This is Daf Vav of the Daf Yerushalmi according to the Art Scroll of other pagination. According to the pagination, the Vilna, it starts about Daf Chav Daled Amid Aleph at the Mishnah. Halacha base. Mastistim cover is mace for chazu. They did bury the mace and they came back, and now after they buried the mace, they have to go to the shura to do the nechama, where the avelim pass in the middle and the menachmim are samak and menachim. If they can start and finish even one parsha Shema, actually the shura, and before they reach the shura, yaskil they should start. Being live and they can't finish it, lo yaskil shouldn't start because I'm mitzvah patim in the mitzvah. Only b'shura, those who stand in the shura. Those who are standing in the first line and they come into contact with Avelim, and they're potter because they're oyster the mitzvah. Ones in the outer row are chayav because they're not directly engaged with Avelim, so they're not going to be oyster the mitzvah. Mashpiach says that they would change places eventually, but in the meantime, while the inner row would be menachem, the outer row had time to say Shema before they would displace them. But that's not necessarily the case. That's just his suggestion. It says the Gemara, Tani emotim mace somoch le Shema. You don't take the mace out right before the time of Shema, unless you did it an hour before and you had enough time therefore afterwards to say Shema and Tefillah. You push it off for an hour. Nor you should say Shema and daven before the Labaya. So from this we see that you're supposed to make sure that you don't get the situation in the Mishnah, if possible, right? Because it says that you should make plan out appropriately. So Gemara asks, what did we learn? It says in the Mishnah that you can't. That it didn't work out that way always. And sometimes they came into a clash. How can they come into a clash if you planned out appropriately? So it says Gemara, it would be even daven suffering these be on they thought they had time. And the later it turned out in the end, whatever took a little longer, they were not able, it was not enough time. And then they came with this issue, what they're supposed to do. Okay, I have another brayso. It says, Tani Hesped, B'chol Oskim Hesped. Hesped means the person giving the Hesped. And anybody who's involved in the Hesped, Mafsin L'Kriyat Shema, they interrupt for Shema. Very much seeking the Tefillah, they don't interrupt for Tefillah for Shema Esrei. Ma'aseh is a certain case. We've seen what I'm saying, the Kriyat Shema Tefillah, they interrupt both for Shema and Shema Esrei. Well, it says, what do you mean? They interrupted. Says it said in the Gemara previously that you have to make sure not to get into such a situation. If you did get into such a situation, like our Mishnah says, you're mitzvah patim in a mitzvah, not mafsik. So what does it mean here that you are mafsik? So it says the Gemara, I'll tell you that Masnisa, our Mishnah, and the first brayso Gemara is B'yom Rishon. It's the first day, and therefore we're dealing with the mace himself, and therefore there's much more of Oiskim Mitzvah Patim in the Mitzvah, obviously. So therefore you're supposed to try and arrange things properly that there shouldn't be any clash. If there's a clash, you don't interrupt, unless you have time to quickly get some inserts on the end. But otherwise, don't interrupt. That which it says you interrupt that has paid for Kriyat Shema or for even for Tefillah of that is B'yom Hasheni. B'yom Hasheni is the second day. But in other words, it's not as much a mitzvah because already you have the kvura. So it's just a hesped. So then that you're mafsik for Shema and for perhaps Shema as well. Says Gemara, a similar situation, which has more to do with the general topic of Seventh Brachos. You came to the shul and they were davening Shema already. So she's davening Shema or not. He knows that he can start when I say finish before Shlatzi starts Chazos the shots. Then knows Achrav Amen to answer Amen with him. Yispal should daven Shemasa. And if not, Yispal should wait. Now there is an Eitzah, which is as we know, which is to daven Mila b'Mila, which they have Tibor. But evidently this Eitzah was not practical in this case, or for some reason not relevant. So you should wait. If you can finish your Shema before they start Chazorah, go ahead. If not, wait. But the thing is, it says wait and answer Amen. Not all Amens. Which Amen? So Gemara says, which Amen are you talking about? Be'ez Amen Amru. Train Amor is Machlos Amor. Chad Amar B'Amen Shel Kel Kodesh. Chad Amar B'Amen Shel Shemei Tefillah. Well, obviously, the second one gives you more time to have your Yerushalmi Shmoneh. One says you have to finish your Shmoneh before you get to Kel Kodesh. The other says before Shomei Tefillah. Now here, the next line in the Yerushalmi is not in the Bavli. It's a big Kiddush. It says, Amar because lo pleading. Samachlokas. Madamar ba'amin shel Kel Kodesh b'Shabbos. On Shabbos, there's no Shomei Tefillah shel Kel Kodesh is primary, and therefore you have to finish your Shmoneh before he gets to Kel Kodesh. On a weekday, when there is Shomei Tefillah, so Manda Mar Shomei Tefillah b'chol. So on a weekday. It's a very big chiddush that there should be such a difference, but that's what it says here. That it makes a difference whether it's Shabbos and Yontif or whether it's weekday. And Shabbos on a weekday, you have more of a leniency. The way to get to Shomei Tefillah. On Shabbos there's no Shomei Tefillah. You have to finish Shemai by the time they get to Kel Kodesh. Okay, it says more further. If they're all one shura. In other words, there aren't two rows on the shura. There's one row of menachemim. The people are there because of covered archayev. Mishum avel p'turim, and the way the Rizbaz explains, the people there mishum avel means that they're there in order to because they're they're closely related to the Avelim. So he gives an example, such as a husband and wife, where the wife is an Avel, the husband is there in the Shura, or vice versa. Then those are the ones that are Potter. The ones that are there Mishum Ibul are Potter. The ones that are there Mishum Covered, they're there to be Menachem. But they're secondary. They're going to be Chayav in Kriya Shema. So that is a very interesting distinction. Which he makes, but and again, just talk about where there's one row. So, Yard similar. What happens against the aspect? Similar thing. Haroi Pani, those who see the right in front, see the Avel, could be the Maspid, but probably the Avel. They see the Avel. The Avel can see them. They can see the Avel. They are they're Pturim. They're exempt from Shema. Shein and Ruim, the ones who are further back in the aspect, they're Chayavim. They have to say Shema and they have to daven Shema Esrei. Now the Gemara says, "Havei hadadetina omdim b'shura pnimi p'turim chitzoni Chayavim Mishnah Achrona." But the thing is that the Ridbaz and others changes to Mishnah Rishona. Hadatani omdim b'shum covered Chayavim b'shum ava p'turim. Mishnah Rishona, and again the Ridbaz and others change it to Mishnah Achrona. So that which it says, let's go back home and explain. That which it says, those who stand in the shura are exempt. The premium are potter, and the chitzonim are chayavim. That was Mishnah Rishona, and it means it is. Although the case is not 100% similar, the language is not 100% similar. The way Ridbaz is explains that. Initially, this is going to come up later in the Gemara. Initially, the Avelim would move while the Menachem would stand still. Later on, that was Mishnah Rishona. So Mishnah Achrona was the Avelim would stand still and the Menachemim would move. And the Gemara is going to explain that in a few lines. So according to Ridbaz, the pshat is like this. According to Mishnah Rishona, there were staggered rows of Menachemim on the side. So therefore, the ones that are inside are Potter, ones outside are Chayev. But according to the Mishnah Achrona, that the Menachemim walked in the middle. There were two rows of Menachemim. There's one row of Menachemim going past the Avelim were standing on the sides. So then, in that scenario, the people who are in that one row in the middle, because of Avel, are Potter. People there because of Kavod are Chayev. And it could be like Mashbiach said before, that the ones who are there Mishum Ibul, because they're close relatives of the Avelim, they will go first. And the others came covered go afterwards. And in the meantime, while the people in front were Menachem, the ones in the back would have time to say Shema and Shema Esrei, so they were not part from Shema and Shema Esrei. Now, the Gemara gives the example of what the Mishnah, where the Chachamim got kind of the inspiration from Mishnah Achrona. By the Tina Tama, we learned over there like by Kohen Gadol. Shumenachem Esachem. He's Menachem others. But nevertheless, even though he's Menachem others, he's stationary. But there come over him Zachar said the people pass in front of him one after another. And the Skan Kohen Gadol stands between the Kohen Gadol and the people. That's kind of a honorary buffer there. But in any event, the Menachemim are the ones walking. I'm sorry. No, this is the the Menachem there come over in Zachar. The people are walking. The Avelim are walking. Sorry, this is the Mishnah Rishayna. When he's Zachem, they come over him. The Avelim are walking. Okay, that is Mishnah. That's the Mishnah Rishayna. Now it's interesting here that there's a different Yerushalmi actually in the Gemara itself. In the Vilna it says here, the Mishnah Achrona, Svarim Acherim Rishona. That's it says in the Yerushalmi, in the Vilna Yerushalmi. So the Mashbiach takes out, it says Svarim Acherim Rishona. That's it's a Talmud wrote that in. It's not part of the Gemara, and in fact, in the article Oz Vazar, this is taken out. But like the Baz, this actually is Mishnah Rishona, because this is talking about the Avelim are moving, and the Menachem, the Kohen Gadol in this case, is stationary. So that's like Mishnah. That's like going like Mishnah Rishona, okay, according to the Baz's Tikkun. Now, okay, fine. What went on there? That there should be Rishona, and there should be what was Rishona and what was Achrona. And we'll see also that there's Achrona Shabachrona, which would explain this Girsa, if the Girsa is Achrona, even according to Bas, as we shall see in a minute. Okay, so it says Gemara, initially the Mishnah Rishona, and that's why it makes sense to change the Girsa previously. The Mishnah Rishona was that the Mishpachos would pass, would stand, and the Avelim would pass by. Misharaba Tachos, when there became competition, the people in the Shura Chitzayna would want to be in the Shura Pnimis, so they started fighting about it. Mashbiach says, Chas v'Shalom, they weren't fighting, it was covered. They wanted to, everybody wanted Menachem and Avelim. But in any event, there was competition. So, but Tzipor, he's going to be Yosef Halafta, Shil Mishpachos, Oivros Avelim Amdim. So, in Tzipor, Rabbi Yosef Halafta made a minimum that, which is Mishnah Achroina, that the Mishpachos Oivros, the families who were being Menachem would pass in the middle, and Avelim would stand on either side. And that's like we said before, that was the Mishnah Achroina. Now, but going back to the Kohen Gadol situation, so that's Mishnah Rishona, right? Because it says that the Kohen Gadol situation also was the Menachem are standing still and Avelim are passing through. So this one, no, not necessarily. And of course, this is assuming it says Svarim Acherim Rishona in the Gemara, because it's Mishnah Achroina, Svarim Acherim Rishona. Because it says Rabbi Yisrael Halafta, Rabbi Shimon Tosefta, Shimon Tosefta, I would say the case Tosfa, Shimon Tosefta or Rabbi Shimon Tosfa, the different Yerushalmi. In any event, Chazru Advarim Liyoishnam. Now they went back, they reversed the takana of Rabbi Yisrael Halafta, and the Moshe Taka says, so this is called Mishnah Achrona relative to Rabbi Yisrael Halafta. So those who called it before, those who say it's Mishnah Rishona, that's if you just take the first two Takonas into account, and that was the Takona Rishona, Mishnah Rishona, that the Avelim are the ones who pass through while the Menachemim stand by. But if you take Rabbi Yosef Halafta into account, I'm sorry, if you take Rabbi Shimon Tosfot into account, the third Mahalach, so then, in fact, that's the Mishnah Achrona. Now we went back and did it afterwards. So it was like a Mishnah Tzayis, and this is the Mishnah Achrona. And even though we have a line or two left, technically in the page, but since it's a new Mishnah, we'll stop here.